Howdy, y'all. I'm Justin.
And I'm Kim.
Welcome to Cowboys Like Us, the podcast where we talk about Taylor Swift and her music. Yeehaw. Hello. Welcome back again to Cowboys Like Us, the only podcast on the internet. I'm glad you found us.
Welcome.
Yes. For any of you who may be first-time listeners, we, as our intro states, talk about Taylor Swift and her music. We do one randomly selected song each week, and today we are talking about Babe from Red Taylor's version. The song was originally released by Sugarland, featuring Taylor Swift on backing vocals. And until Red TV came out, I had not heard this song, because I do not listen to Sugarland if I can help it.
Yeah. I had heard the Sugarland version, but I didn't really realize I had heard it until I heard Taylor's version. And I was like, I know this song.
Yeah.
I remember this song. And then after I heard Taylor's version for the first time, I think I was in like the grocery store and I heard Sugarland's again. And I was like, oh, no. I don't like this.
Yes. Me neither. But we will talk about all of that. But first, we have some exciting poll results. All of our previous episodes have polls on them, which will allow you to rank each of the songs we've talked about from 1 to 10. And our first 3 have closed. So 22 finished with a 7 from the fans. It's Time to Go got a 5. Which I thought was a little bit low, to be honest. It did have 110, though. Somebody gave it a 10, but...
Wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
It also had a 4 or lower, and it had a couple 5s. And then Change got 4 or lower. And I'm thinking it was probably lower, but...
Yeah, I think we all pretty much agreed on the suckiness of Change.
Yes, but unfortunately we are limited in how many poll results we can have.
Yeah.
Choices. Answers. Yeah.
I think it's easy to assume that, everybody has basically the same outlook between 1 and 3, Well, or 1 and 4 even.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It's not good. That's the message.
Yeah.
Currently, I forgot that you existed. It's still open, and I believe it will be through the end of the day, Monday, the day this episode comes out. So, if you want to vote, get it in before it's too late. It's currently sitting on a 5. Which I think is low, although that's what I gave it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, taking it back now, huh?
Well, it's
backtracking it.
Well, I personally think it's a 5. But I feel like...
So maybe all of our listeners agree. I have voted in the poll what I ranked it on the episode. So, I'm probably the only 6 in there.
Well, I just feel like it'll hurt some people's feelings if it gets a 5. So, if you're one of those people, go vote before it's too late.
Yeah, you're the only one who can change it.
Let's move on to news. News from around the Taylorverse. Drop goes here.
We got international tour dates.
Woo!
Finally.
Is she going anywhere we've heard of?
No.
Oh, some obscure places?
They're all new countries.
Ooh. Exotic and fun. Going to Mexico first.
Yep, she wraps up the U.S. leg in August.
Yes.
And then I think she takes September off, right?
Well, she goes to Mexico first.
Oh,
Mexico
that's
is
right.
at the end of August.
Right. So she goes right to Mexico at the end of August. She's off of September, all of September. And then she goes to South America.
Yep. And then she takes 2 more months off, December and January.
Yep, for the holidays.
Then headed to Asia, Japan, Singapore, and on to Australia. And then off again for March and April. And finally closing out in Europe.
Yeah,
from August.
She's in Europe May, June, July, and August. And yeah, the last show is set to be on August 17th of next year. So she will have been on the Eras Tour for over a year and a half, which is crazy.
That is a lot of shows. And I'm sure it will generate a lot of money for Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It also means that we're just going to have so many more live streams and acoustic sets to watch.
My main takeaway from the international tour dates, aside from, wow, it's a world tour, but she's kind of omitting a large portion of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's just the nature of the beast. But I'm interested in those gaps,
Yeah.
It's a long tour, like we said. Maybe she just wants some breaks in there. Who could blame her? But she's always working on something, so I don't know. What's she gonna do with it? I'm gonna see.
Yeah, I think those gaps could be re-records, promotional time. But when she announced the US tour, she announced a first set of dates, and then she announced more dates, and then she announced a third final set of extra dates.
Oh, so you think she might...
I wouldn't be surprised if she pops up with extra shows and shows for places that haven't been announced yet.
Fills those gaps up. Yeah.
Yeah. Fill some of them. Maybe right now, it's a scheduling thing, trying to figure out how it's going to work, or maybe it's a figuring out, venues in the country or whatever. There's a lot of planning that goes into it, but...
Oh, I'm sure.
I think we could potentially get more international dates announced.
Well, we will just have to see what happens.
Yep.
When Taylor was in Pittsburgh at one of her shows, she made a speech to the crowd about Cruel Summer, about how it's her baby and she's stoked to have it finally coming out as a single. Do you have that there?
Yeah. You want me to read it?
If you like.
The weirdest, most magical thing is happening. It's never happened to me in the whole time I've ever been doing this.
Long time.
Cruel Summer is a song. I just played it a second ago. I don't know if you remember. We had a blast, yeah?
Yeah.
The one with the bridge where we all screamed. Cruel Summer was on the Lover album. The album came out 4 years ago, and I just needed to let you know something. Cruel Summer, that song, was my pride and joy on that album. You have conversations before the album comes out. Everybody around weighs in on what they think should be singles. I was finally about to have my favorite song become the single off of Lover. I'm not trying to blame the global pandemic that we had, but that is something that happened that stopped Cruel Summer from ever being a single. No one understands how this is happening, but you guys have streamed Cruel Summer so much right now in 2023 that it's at the top. It's rising on the streaming charts. So crazy that my label just decided to make it the next single.
There you have it. There you have it. It's wild to think that that this was Taylor's favorite song from Lover, that she wanted as a single, and presumably her label pushed her to release 4 singles before finally agreeing to do Cruel Summer, and then...
Which is wild.
Get it pushed back because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I would have, which is surprising to me, because first off, it's a banger. And
yeah.
If you can't hear that, then you shouldn't be a professional music executive. Second, I would have felt very confident that part of Taylor's contract with Universal was, I'm Taylor Swift, I can do what I want, and you all just sit there and take your money. You know what I mean? I would have expected she wanted full creative control over everything. I release what I want when I want. That's it. So it's surprising to me that it seems like that's not the case.
Yeah, I think that is just the definition of being a woman in any industry.
Damn.
I think you always have men who know better than you, who think they know better than you. Let me clarify.
Yeah.
Telling you what you should and shouldn't do, and that, I know you think Cruel Summer is a good idea, but this song is better. Which I think is funny that they then decided that the man should be single.
Yeah, that's what we call irony.
But that being said, I see how it could have been her choice to save it to be the last single if it was going to come out as a single sort of in promotion for Loverfest. And all of that fell apart right there together because Loverfest was supposed to be the tour that came after or came for the Lover album, and then the pandemic squashed it.
Oh, gotcha. Just push really strong into the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. Well, anyway, either way, it's coming out now. So, hooray! Fun times.
Crazy stuff. I think it's, fully on the tour itself that is like really got Cruel Summer up in the charts.
Yep, she's been playing it, and people have been like, "Damn, Cruel Summer! I forgot about that one."
It just hits so good. That bridge is just mwah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, it is currently summer right now, so that's a little bit of synergy for you.
That is true. I guess everybody's like, it didn't get to shine as the song of the summer back in 2019.
Yeah, 2020...
Or I guess in 2020.
It ended up being 2020, yeah. 2020 didn't have a summer song because we were all indoors.
Yeah, because summer was spent inside.
Yep. All right. Next up, Ticketmaster is in hot water with
always
the United States Congress because they dicked over Taylor and all the Swifties, and basically Congress is investigating it because they think it may qualify as a monopoly, which is illegal against U.S. law. So Taylor has more power than anyone knew. Too powerful, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Especially with, like, the army that are Swifties.
Yeah, we about to get into that little...
The army that is Swifties?
The army that is.
The army
that
exists as...
collectively. The army.
The Swiftie army. There we go.
Yeah.
Grammar got weird there for a second.
What even is grammar?
I don't know. You tell me, sir.
I don't know.
You're the one who has a degree.
I know spelling is fun. I don't know if grammar is fun. In fact, I do know. It isn't.
It's not. Yeah. I can tell you right now. No.
Yep.
I also said you're the one with a degree. Like, I don't also have a degree.
Yeah, but not in grammar, though.
Yeah. Well, yours is closer to dealing with grammar than mine.
It is, but that's not what not the side I focused on.
You do have to know grammar in order to get your degree. You don't have to know grammar to get mine.
I have an English degree, but I was a Brit-Lit focus, so I can quote Shakespeare at great length.
Hell yeah.
For no benefit to anyone at all.
Taylor would love that. What were we talking about?
The Ticketmaster hearing.
Ah, yes. Oh, I was gonna say, I think it was like the biggest red flag when Ticketmaster bought Live Nation, but nobody really talked about it. And then you would start seeing like promotions for stuff through Live Nation, and you click like buy tickets, and it redirected you to Ticketmaster, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, Senator Amy Klobuchar. She touched on that very thing and said, Ticketmaster is the story of a monopoly gone wild. They are a vertically integrated giant with Live Nation. They can drive up prices and offer subpar services. That is why we will be holding a bipartisan hearing in the Senate on these issues so we can push for solutions. So, yeah, congratulations, Ticketmaster. You healed the political rift in the United States. Brought the parties together to say fuck Ticketmaster, so that's fun.
You done messed up, right?
You done goofed. Yep.
Way to go.
I back traced it.
Yeah.
You're gonna call the cyber police and the FBI.
If Ticketmaster is gonna be in a monopoly, they really gotta get the fucking heads of the game because they're not doing great.
Yeah. They don't even have a monocle or a top hat. They're doing it all wrong.
Where's the boot?
Yes, sir. As promised, the Swiftie Army, we're going to talk about that now because there was an article released on Insider by a gentleman named Chris Panella in which he compared Taylor Swift's Eras Tour to Beyonce's Renaissance Tour.
Okay, Kanye.
What?
I said, okay, Kanye.
Oh, yeah.
Comparing Taylor to Beyonce.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. And he attended a show on both tours, and he said that Renaissance was, quote, far more worthwhile, and that Eras was, quote, more of a mismatch than a cohesive work. All Too Well 10-minute version is, quote, a roadblock. That song is just too long. And, quote, Taylor Swift is concert royalty, no doubt, but there's still only one queen. Queen Bee. That's who he's riding for. My main take on that, before we get into the backlash, is just, I actually saw that article. It was like on Facebook News or whatever.
Right.
I read it. And I was just like, why do we do this? Why are we comparing these two powerful women, bro?
No.
Taylor Swift talks about that in one of her songs. You need to calm down? Is that it?
Yeah.
See you there on the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Compare all the girls who are killing it? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Why are you doing that, Chris? Why are you doing that?
And I was like, oh.
Yeah. You need to calm down. Being too loud. There's no need for it. You can like Beyonce's tour and like Taylor's too, or you can like one and not the other, and that's also fine. It's your money and your life, and you got to do you.
Yeah.
But you don't have to tear Taylor down to build Beyonce up.
Yeah.
She don't need that. Beyonce's doing just fine.
Yeah, we definitely live in a day and age where there is no one queen. The one queen, she's dead. She died.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. So, like, there is no one queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beyonce and Taylor have different enough music that you can like Beyonce and you can like Taylor. You can like Beyonce or you can like Taylor. And you shouldn't be judged one way or the other. And I don't think their tours can be compared because they have enough variety in their audience that, you know, it's two different shit. So why are we comparing them?
Yeah, and I know that I made a bit of light of it when I mentioned You Need to Calm Down, which is a silly song. But there is a hint of misogyny to it, to me, that, you know, there can't be room for more than one pop star woman in the world.
Yeah.
You know, you don't do that with guys. You never hear that shit. You never, it's like, oh, you know, I went to the Ed Sheeran concert and I went to the Bruno Mars concert and this one sucks and this one's good. That never happens. It's not a thing that exists in the world.
Right, because if that was a thing, then Ticketmaster would be the monopoly on ticket sales. There would be one female artist to go see, which would be Beyonce. There'd be like one male rapper to go see, one male pop artist to go see, one female rapper to go see, one no, that's the whole point.
Yep, we're not living in communist Yugoslavia where there's just, you know, music. You go to the music concert by the musician.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. We have, you know, lots of options and there's room for everybody. It's a beautiful rainbow with room for all the colors of the world.
And if you don't like Taylor, don't listen to her. If you don't like her tour, don't go to her tour.
Totally valid.
Some of us wanted to go and couldn't get tickets.
Yep. All right. All of that said, those are our legitimate, in our opinion, criticisms of Chris's article. However, the Twitter Swifties have no chill, as we have known for years.
Yes. And
they came after Chris pretty hard. Pretty hard. He put out a second article saying that the Swifties had called him homophobic slurs and that he'd received death threats and false accusations of grooming and pedophilia and threats against his family from Swifties over his initial article. And, you know, none of that is okay at all, period. No. We are not with that shit on Cowboys Like Us at all.
No.
It's bad. And that's what the quote-unquote moderate Swifties of the internet should have said. We didn't love his article initially, but the response was outrageous and bad. We condemn it. Instead, what has sort of happened is that the online Swifties have dug through his history, found comments of his which appear to insult Taylor. They say that he called her Table a few times. Table, T-A-Y, bull. Because she's flat, you know, like a table.
Oh, I was like, what? What is he getting at?
Yeah, I haven't actually seen a screenshot of that tweet in question, but I have seen ones where he's like, I don't know, critical of Taylor. He's a member of the Beehive, which he does not mention in his initial article. He claims to be a fan of both and objective, which he isn't. He's a partisan in this thing. And the question then that Swifties have asked is, did he write the initial article as a sort of outrage bait so that he would get attacked by Swifties in some fashion? Maybe he didn't know exactly But, they'd come for him. And then he could write a second article critiquing it.
Be like, look at these crazies.
Yeah, and he could get a lot of pub on both articles, because these are my opinions on tours. It's not an exciting article in and of itself inherently, but drama is, and people will click on that and read that and get people worked up. And so the Swifties have been critical of him for that. That said, homophobia ain't it.
No, and I'm definitely of the thought that the more you respond to something, the more you respond in disagreement to something, it just feeds exactly what they're looking for. And it was very obvious that this was definitely set up to evoke a reaction from Swifties. Now, I don't know if necessarily I agree that maybe I do. Maybe I, on a personal level, agree. But I don't know for a fact that he was doing this to get a reaction so he could write a second article and make Swifties look bad. But I do think he fully expected to get backlash from Swifties.
Yeah.
But if he's known for saying bad things about her, I don't think he's ever going to say anything good about her. So instead of playing directly into his hand, just let his article die.
Yep. If we assume that's what his plan was all along, then you're giving it.
You've done exactly what he wants. Yeah,
exactly. Playing right into his hand, and you shouldn't do that. Just leave the man alone. If he wants to have dumb opinions, he's allowed to. You know? Everybody's allowed to have their own dumb opinions. It's fine. It's not that deep.
Yeah. If I had seen this article when it first, like, the moment it published, I would have read it, been like, well, that's incorrect, and you're wrong, but okay, and moved on with my life.
That's exactly what I did. And I thought that was it, and then it wasn't.
Yeah. I think that, though, plays into the world of parasocial relationships that we, live in, where people think that they have to come to Taylor's defense because they imagine her as their, like, best friend. And although she does play that to a degree, like, there is a line there where you have to know, like, you don't need to defend her.
Yeah. Stan culture in music has become very reminiscent to me of, like, sports fandom, because I am a big sports boy, and you hate your rival, you hate your rival's fans, and you just, which team you're on says a lot about you in your mind, and which team they're on is everything that is wrong with the world, and thus it becomes like this whole very partisan, very vitriolic thing. And it's not that deep. Sports aren't that deep. And I say that as a diehard sports fan who has definitely said and done some questionable things in the name of fanhood over the past 32 years. But, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. It's fine. It's fine. You can like what you like, and other people can like what they like.
Yeah.
And it's all good.
Yeah. Don't threaten to kill people.
Yep.
Don't call people slurs.
Yep. The artist you like is not an angel. The artist your rival likes is not the devil. They're just people making music and doing the best they can, like everybody else. It's fine.
Everybody just live your lives.
Yep. Go outside, touch grass.
Yeah.
Look at a flower. Smell it.
Stand on a stump barefoot and look at the moon. That's what I like to do.
That's right. All of that. Also, at one of Taylor's Pittsburgh shows, she got a visitor in the form of Mr. Smokey Robinson, who is a legendary singer-songwriter, producer. He was vice president of Motown Records for a long time. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. He is now 83 years old, still touring, and he put out his most recent album in April of this year, and that album is unfortunately titled Gasms.
Good Lord.
Yep, Gasms. And that's regrettable.
Yeah,
that is regrettable.
Why?
I guess the Smoke Man needs the ladies to know he still bangs. He needs them to. They have to.
Okay.
Anyway, he went to one of the Pittsburgh shows with his granddaughter, and he said afterwards, "Taylor, I absolutely love you, and thank you so much for making last night possible. You've always been wonderful to me. The show was magnificent. If you ever need anything, do not hesitate to call me, which is very sweet and sort of grandfatherly to Taylor. And I would feel better about it if he hadn't put out a record called Gasms earlier this year, which kind of puts a dent in the whole sweet grandfatherly thing. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know about a smoke. I don't know about it.
For sure.
Is there any other news?
Alright, so no other news.
All right. Well, then I guess it's time to go to Kimberly's favorite place, Kimberly's Clown Corner. Kimberly's Clown Corner.
Not a lot to talk about when it comes to Babe as a song. Like we said, it's already, it was originally recorded by Sugarland.
Right.
But written by Taylor. So we'll get into some song facts in a minute and talk about the song itself. Sure. But instead, we're going to take a little trip in the Cornerland today, back to the start of it all.
Ooh.
And we're going to talk about the history of Taylor and Easter eggs.
Yay!
Or what we call Easter eggs.
I was going to say, is Taylor a big fan of Easter? She gets the basket with the chocolate rabbits in it?
Taylor is the Easter Bunny.
Oh.
Yeah. In a way.
It's not how I imagined him to look,
I'm sorry, did you just gender the Easter Bunny?
He's a man. He's an
How do you know?
I've always assumed he's a man. Is that sexist?
I think so.
He's I don't know. Yeah. Neither gender of rabbit lays eggs. So
That's true.
That is of no help to anyone.
That is very true. Easter doesn't make sense when it comes to the bunny and stuff. The Christianity part, I guess I get, but
yeah, I don't know. I've always pictured him as a male rabbit.
Yeah, well,
maybe
that seems very misogynistic of you.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Whoops. Might have to unpack that.
Save that one for therapy.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Easter eggs as they are associated with Taylor Swift. Kind of explain what an Easter egg, quote unquote, is. And I guess this is probably like the information we should have given at like the first episode for anybody who doesn't know Taylor Swift.
Well, here's the thing real quick that I wanted to say, just sort of a programming note on the corner, what we imagined it to be and what it has been thus far. What we imagined it to be was sort of a dive into fan theories every week that are, very nebulous and not confirmed, hence clownery. But currently this is episode 5. We're laying the groundwork. When the circus comes to town, they don't just start clowning, right? They have to set the big top up.
Yeah.
And, get people in there.
Precisely.
That's what we're doing. We're laying the groundwork. We're still working on it.
Yeah.
So that's what's up. But one day we will get around to some serious clowning.
Yes, for sure. But I also think that we've done a little bit of clowning, like talking about Carly and her relationship and stuff. That kind of is your first introduction to clownery.
Right.
And this is sort of giving you the groundwork that other Swifties got naturally. But now we're just going to tell you about how it all started and why people clown the way they do. And why
Taylor leads Easter eggs.
The corner is even here.
That's right.
Why the corner exists in the first place. It's because I live the theories. I live for the Easter eggs. I live for it all. So let's establish that backstory. Well, why don't we? And I'm sure we'll do this bit by bit over time. But today, like I said, we're going to take it back to the beginning. And we're going to talk about some early Easter eggs. And again, what Easter eggs even are. So, sources, I used l'officiel.usa.com, augustman.com, and why did I put it so far down? BuzzFeed.com. So,
what Care Bear are you? You can find out on BuzzFeed.
What Care Bear are you? Yeah.
I have no doubt that that's on there as a quiz.
I'm sure it is. What Taylor Swift
I would bet
are you?
$1,000 that it's on there.
I don't have $1,000 to bet against you.
Well, that's good because you'd lose it.
Why are Swifties always scouring her work for Easter eggs? Again, quote unquote.
Because they found some.
So Easter eggs are small hints or winks to the fan that Taylor, or to the fans, that Taylor leaves in her music photo shoots, music videos, social media posts, even her clothes. She also had a full-on mural in Nashville one time. These clues have led to the reveals of new songs, new albums, music videos, collaborations, tour announcements. They can also sometimes be used to decipher who the subject of a song is about, which we have already talked about a couple of times. So, during an interview with Jimmy Fallon, Taylor said, "It's sort of a tradition that we started a very long time ago. I think the first time that I started dropping sort of cryptic clues in my music was when I was 14 or 15, putting together my first album. I wanted to do something that incentivized fans to read the lyrics because my lyrics are what I am most proud of everything that I do. When I was a kid, I used to read through the CD booklets and just read the teeny tiny print and obsess over it." So, like mentioned, this is basically the origin of Kimberly's Clown Corner. Swifties are known to be dedicated to searching and analyzing over every detail of what Taylor does because she has proven that anything could be an Easter egg.
Right.
She said to Entertainment Weekly, "I've trained them to be that way." I'm talking about Swifties. I love that they like cryptic hint dropping because as long as they like it, I'll keep doing it. It's fun and it feels mischievous and playful.
It is, yeah. And it's interactive, which is fun.
Yeah. Feels like you're in on a secret. So, today we're going to specifically talk about the album Easter eggs and the CD booklets that Taylor mentioned. So, in her first 4 albums, she had hidden codes in the lyrics of the CD booklets of each of those 4 albums. So that would be Debut, which is Taylor Swift's first album. I don't know if we've ever mentioned this. Taylor Swift's first album is called Taylor Swift.
Right,
but
self-titled.
Self-titled album, but all Swifties refer to it as Debut on its own. So for Debut, Fearless, Red, and 1989, Taylor left secret hidden messages in the CD liners. When reading the lyrics, random letters are capitalized, and those odd letters would spill out the message for each song. With the exception of 1989, where she flipped the script and hid the message in lowercase letters amongst the capitals.
Tricky.
But she stopped this after the release of 1989. Going into Reputation, she put out a statement before Reputation basically saying that I'm not going to do this anymore because this album can speak for itself and, it's all Reputation from here. That was basically what she said.
Okay.
So, just for funsies, we're just going to run through and read all the secret messages in the first few albums.
All right.
And we can briefly talk about the ones that are kind of, scandalous. But we'll go into deeper detail when we get to those songs.
All right.
So, Debut liner messages for Tim McGraw, it was "Can't Tell Me Nothing."
Okay.
Picture to Burn was "Date Nice Boys."
Good advice.
Yes. Teardrops on My Guitar, he will never know. Except you literally dropped his name in the song, so I think he will. A Place in This World, I Found This. So that's sweet. Yep. She found a place in this world.
Get it? Mm-hmm.
Cold as You was Time to Let Go.
Okay.
The Outside was You're Not Alone. Tied Together with a Smile is You Are Loved.
Okay.
Stay Beautiful was Shake and Bake.
Interesting. She's a big into Talladega Nights.
I guess. Should have said no was Sam. The name Sam over and over again.
Who is Sam?
Sam is speculated to be one of her, earlier boyfriends in her life that cheated on her. So that's why I should have said no. It was about him.
Ooh. She really did my man like that.
Yeah. Put his name in the liner. Mary's song is Sometimes Love is Forever.
Okay.
And our song is Live and Love.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
That one can either be a sort of encouraging message.
Yeah.
Or just like a warning. Like, you're not alone. I am in your home right now.
I can see you. I know what you did last summer.
I have brought you an Easter basket.
Yeah.
Because I am the Easter Bunny.
Because I am the Easter Bunny.
Yep, and I have magically come into your home as the Easter Bunny does.
Mary's song should have been Happy Easter. Hoppity hop hop hop. So, Fearless liner messages. For Fearless, Taylor's version, Taylor posted a statement announcing Love Story, Taylor's version's release, But within the statement, she added a secret message, like she used to in the liners, of April 9th, is what it spells out, which was the Fearless Taylor Swift release date.
Oh, very cool.
So, Fearless's message, the song, was I loved you before I met you.
Okay.
It's a Savage Garden song, shout out. It's really, I knew I loved you before I met you, but 15, I cried while recording this.
Okay.
I think we probably
It is an emotional song.
I was gonna say, we probably all cried the first time we heard that. Love Story was Someday I'll Find This.
Her love story, her happily ever after.
Yeah. Someday I'll find this.
Get that?
Hey Steven was Love and Theft. Really called out Steven. Specifically. Like, hey, I'm going to put your band's name in the...
Oh, that was Steven's band.
Yeah, Steven...
A real guy.
The Steven in the song is a real guy, and he was a member of the band Love and Theft.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of Love and Theft?
No.
They had like one song that I was really into.
I've not heard of them.
White Horse was All I Ever Wanted Was the Truth.
Okay.
You Belong With Me was Love Is Blind, So You Couldn't See Me. Breathe was I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry 3 times.
Okay.
Tell Me Why was Guess I Was Fooled by Your Smile.
Sure.
You're Not Sorry was She Can Have You.
Ooh. Coming in hot.
Yeah. The Way I Loved You was We Cannot Go Back.
Very true.
Sorry, we can't go back, but...
Yep, can't go back.
Forever and Always was if you play these games, we're both going to lose.
Deep.
Yeah. The Best Day was God Bless Andrea Swift.
Her mom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Change was You Made Things Change for Me. Which is uncomfortable if you've listened to our Change episode.
Yep, go back and listen to the Change episode and just feel angry.
Jump and Fall was Last Summer Was Magical.
Wasn't it, though?
Untouchable was We Always Want What We Can't Reach. Forever and Always piano version was I Still Miss Who I Thought He Was.
Okay.
Again, just a note, Forever and Always, both versions, because they're the same song, are about Joe Jonas.
How about that? I would have thought the piano version note would have said, I found a piano.
Come In With the Rain is I Won't Admit That I Wish You'd Come Back.
Okay.
And then Superstar and The Other Side of the Door have the same message, I think. Based off of the research I did. Which is, I'll never tell what I was really thinking.
Ooh.
So, Speak Now, liner messages.
Yep.
Mine, it was Toby. So, name Toby.
Who's Toby?
I don't actually know who Toby is.
Does anyone know who Toby is? Are there theories?
When we get to mine, I guess we'll see.
Okay. TBD.
Sparks Fly was Portland, Oregon.
Heard of it.
Back to December was Tay, Tay. And it is well known that song is about Taylor Lautner. Speak Now was You'll Always Regret What You Don't Say.
Yep, that's true.
Dear John was Loved You From the Very First Day. Mean was I Thought You Got Me.
Thought you got me.
Thought you understood. Thought you were on my side.
Right.
The Story of Us was CMT Awards.
Okay. Do you know what that's in reference to?
I think I do. I think it was...
Did you have a blowout?
She and John Mayer were both at the CMT Awards. And it was awkward because they were in the room and they weren't talking to each other.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to the story of us.
We'll go deeper into that when we get to the Story of Us.
Something dramatic.
But I believe it was John Mayer and they were both there and they just basically ignored each other all night, but it was awkward. Never Grow Up is I Moved Out in July. So just a story about getting older. Enchanted, the message was Adam.
Who's Adam?
Adam is Owl City.
Oh.
The guy from Owl City.
The guy from Owl City.
Yeah, and so we'll also get into that when we get to Enchanted because that was a wild ride to experience when Speak Now came out. But yeah, it's Adam from Owl City.
All right.
I wish I remembered Adam's last name, but I don't.
Adam Owl City.
Adam Owl City.
His full
Middle
Christian
name Owl.
That's his government name.
Better Than Revenge was You Thought I Would Forget. Innocent was Life is Full of Little Interruptions. Haunted was Still to This Day. Last Kiss, the message was Forever and Always. So that's kind of like immediately saying this song is about Joe Jonas, because Forever and Always was about Joe Jonas. But another clue about that is that the intro to Last Kiss is exactly 27 seconds long, which is how long the phone call was when Joe broke up with Taylor.
Oof.
But we'll talk about that later.
27 seconds. That don't take a lot of time.
It's not a lot of time for a breakup, but it's a long ass intro.
Yeah. You may as well just send a text.
Have you listened to Last Kiss?
No.
Right, because you haven't heard it Speak Now.
Nope.
Yeah, it takes forever. It takes fucking forever. Anyway, and then Long Live, the note was For You. I don't know who you is. Maybe it's Swifties.
Maybe.
We'll see. Red liner messages. State of Grace was I Love You Doesn't Count After Goodbye.
True.
Red was SAG, S-A-G.
Screen Actors Guild.
I guess.
I don't know.
Treacherous was Won't Stop Till It's Over. I Knew You Were Trouble was When You Saw Me Dancing. All Too Well was Maple Latte.
Okay. Better than Pumpkin Spice.
Yeah. Truly. 22, I think we talked about this when we talked about 22, but it was Ashley, Diana, Claire, and Selena, naming all of her friends at the time, her crew. Yep. I Almost Do was Wrote This Instead of Calling. We Are Never Getting Back Together was When I Stopped Caring What You Thought. Stay, Stay, Stay was Daydreaming About Real Love.
Ooh.
The Last Time was LA on Your Break.
Right.
Holy Ground was When You Came to the Show in SD. So
South Dakota?
Yeah, South Dakota.
Interesting.
Sad, Beautiful, Tragic was While You Were on a Train. The Lucky One was Wouldn't You Like to Know?
I would.
You like to know.
I would like to.
Everything Has Changed message was Hyannisport.
Okay.
Starlight was For Ethel. And we know that one was about Bobby and Ethel Kennedy.
Right.
And Begin Again was I Wear Heels Now.
Okay.
So again, with 1989, she changed it a little bit by using the different cases of the letters. So instead of an uppercase, she hit a lowercase in all uppercase lyrics. But she also made it so that all of the secret messages read as a story when put together.
Interesting.
So Welcome to New York was We Begin Our Story in New York. Blank Space was There Was Once a Girl Known by Everyone and No One. Style was Her Heart Belonged to Someone Who Couldn't Stay. Out of the Woods is They Loved Each Other Recklessly. All You Had to Do Was Stay. They Paid the Price.
Okay.
Shake It Off. She Danced to Forget Him.
Right.
I Wish You Would. He Drove Past Her Street Each Night.
Okay.
Bad Blood. She Made Friends and Enemies. Wildest Dreams. He Only Saw Her in His Dreams. Right. How You Get the Girl. Then One Day He Came Back. This Love. Timing is a Funny Thing. I Know Places. And Everyone Was Watching. Clean. She lost him, but she found herself. And somehow that was everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So all of these little Easter eggs were left within the lyrics of the songs of her first 4 albums to sort of give the fans what they wanted, give them the backstory to each song without her having to, sit down and explain it all.
Okay. Is that it for now?
Yeah, that's it for now.
Well, the reason people do clownery and look for Easter eggs is because Taylor has a history of leaving them. So,
yeah,
we know that, and we will come back to that at a later time. But for now, I think it's time we move on to song facts about Babe. It was written by Taylor Swift and Patrick Monahan, who you may know better as the lead singer of the band Train, aka Drops of Jupiter. That's an okay song. I don't hate that one. I do hate Hey Soul Sister. That one. That one makes me want to. That one makes me want to tear my ears off.
Have
Honestly,
you
I hate
ever heard Taylor's cover of Drops of Jupiter?
it. I don't think so. Is
It's
it good?
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
an okay
she
song.
played it on the Speak Now tour, or maybe it was the Red tour. I'm not 100% sure which one, but she played it live at a concert, and there's a recording of the live performance.
I'm not sure what this says about me,
One of
but
my favorites.
when I was a wee lad, I grew up listening to oldies with my parents and country music with my granddad sometimes. And I was not familiar with the popular music of the 90s, really, at all. And I didn't start getting into popular music of the day until about 2001-ish, somewhere around there. And one of the first songs that I heard and was like, maybe I like this, this devil music or whatever, Drops of Jupiter by Train. It was one of them.
Wow.
It was, you couldn't get away from it. It was on every
Yeah.
station then. And I was like, that's, it's catchy. It's fun. I don't love the fried chicken. Don't mention fried chicken in a song. Just don't ever do it. If you think maybe I need to mention fried chicken in this song, you've made a terrible mistake. You need to go back and think again.
But can you talk about how you like your chicken fried?
No.
Like Zach Brown Band? Oh, okay.
You cannot. Zach Brown Band is ass. There, I said it. I'm a very courageous free thinker. Anyway, written by Taylor and Patrick Monahan, and then produced by Taylor and Mr. Jack Antonoff, who we have spoken of.
Friend of the pod.
Yep, friend of the pod, future guest of the pod. This song was originally written during the Red era, as you would think, but it did not make either the standard track list or the deluxe version.
Yeah.
It sat in the vault until 2018, when it was put out by Sugarland, featuring Taylor Swift on backing vocals. For anyone who is unfamiliar with Sugarland, I'm sorry that you cannot stay that way and that I have to talk about them to you. They are a country music duo, guy and a girl, formerly a trio, and they were active initially from 2002 to 2012, and then they were on hiatus, and they came back 2017, and they have been active since then. They have scored 5 number ones on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart over the years, and back when they first got famous, circa 2005 or so, the third member, Kristen Hall, she left the band under some unusual circumstances. They said that she left of her own accord. She then said, nope, I was kicked out. There was a lot of drama about, was it related to her sexual orientation? Being a lesbian in a country music band at that time, even now probably, sadly.
Not the vibe.
Not gonna play super well for the typical country music listener. And I used to have people who I knew who were like, everybody wants to fucking say that it's because she's a lesbian, whatever, they kicked her out, but, she's just fucking ugly. You can't sell records when you ugly. And I'm like, that's not...
I see you for who you truly are, which is ugly.
Yeah, that's
Shout
not...
out to all my She's the Man fans.
That's not better. That's not better. Well, I don't know. It's not worse, but it's not better. Yeah, I'll say it's all bad. It's all bad. Anyway, she sued the band, and she settled for an undisclosed amount. She got a paycheck, and Sugarland kept on going. And then they went on hiatus in 2012. They came back in 2017, and they signed to Big Machine Records.
Dun dun dun!
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun dun dun!
And Taylor gave them Babe to put on their comeback record. And their version, featuring Taylor, reached number 8 on the Hot Country Songs chart and number 72 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Fun stuff. I was actually a fan of Sugarland as a wee lass. I think it was the last album they put out before Kristen left.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I stopped listening to them after they were no longer a trio. At the time, though, I didn't even know why she left the band.
Well, it's still not known for sure, but that's...
Well, the speculation of why she left the band.
I'm sure she signed an NDA as part of the settlement.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so we'll never know. And then Taylor's version of the song came out in 2021 on Red TV, and Babe, Taylor's version, made it to number 21 on the Hot Country Songs chart and number 69 on the Billboard Hot 100. Kimberly's laughing because I wrote nice next to 69 in the document.
In our show notes.
In the show notes, yeah.
Number 69. Nice.
I have to, it's a meme. It's a meme. I do it for the kids. So, what has Taylor said about this song?
In an Instagram post about the Sugarland version, she said, "I am so happy that it gets its own life. I'm so happy that Sugarland wanted to record it and has done such a good job with it. I'm so stoked to be able to sing on it too." She has also said, "The story behind this is that sometimes I'll write a song that I absolutely love, but I feel like it doesn't fit with an album I've made. So I hold it back and hope it'll have its own moment someday, whether it's me singing it or some other artist. And in this case, it's an artist called Sugarland."
Yep, there you go. Seems like she liked it, but it didn't fit on Red. She was happy to see it see the light of day. What did critics say about it?
Clash Music said a largely unremarkable song about betrayal.
Oof.
The Guardian said beachy, skippy, pop ska.
Okay, it does have horns in it of some sort.
Yeah.
Whether or not that makes it ska.
I was gonna say, is pop ska like a subgenre I've never heard of?
I mean, No Doubt is more or less a
Pop
ska band.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
alright. I've heard of pop and I've heard of ska. I've never heard of pop ska.
Yeah, their early stuff especially had more ska notes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Line of Best Fit says, sounds energized and full.
I like my song to be full. Fill her up.
New Zealand Herald said, hearing Swift's voice sing Babe adds layers to the narrative of who Taylor was in her 20s.
Okay.
And NME said, producer Jack Antonoff adds brass and 1989 style shine to Babe Taylor's version. Pitchfork said, a venom-laced air kiss.
Interesting.
I would have said that about, I forgot that you existed.
Yep. In terms of fan response, Mr. Rob Sheffield of Rolling Stone magazine and self-proclaimed Swiftie, on his ranking of all 229 at the time Taylor Swift songs, he put Babe at number 86. And he said that the Taylor's version was, quote, worth the wait. And then on Reddit, the Red Taylor's version Survivor game, where they all voted to determine the best tracks on Red, they did not include Ronan for obvious reasons. And Babe finished 21st out of 29 tracks on Red TV minus Ronan. So, kind of low, especially compared to Rob Sheffield,
Yeah.
who was top 100 overall. And they...
Of those two, I feel like I agree with Rob more, but I think I would push it further into the hundreds. I don't think I'd put it in top 100.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and get to our thoughts. So...
Yeah, it's about that time.
Yep. What have you got?
So, like I said, I have heard both versions a couple times.
Right.
I don't care for the Sugarland version, and I love Taylor's version. It was very obvious that it was meant for her voice. It was written for her voice, for her sound, for her style.
Sure.
And Sugarland does not have the same of those things. It gets stuck in my head often. It's got a lot of catchy lines. A lot of hooks in there, and repetitive stuff especially gets really stuck in my head. So it gets stuck in my head a lot, and I don't think that there is a song on Red that I would take off to replace Babe. I don't know that I would put it on the main album, but I'm glad we got it as a vault, that her version exists in the world, because I enjoy it a lot. But if I had to, I would get rid of it before I would put it on Red.
Okay. Well.
Oh, I also had a note. Unsure why Justy hates Train so much. They are proven bop writers.
This is a reference that most people listening to this podcast will not understand, probably. But Train reminds me of if Russell Wilson started a band. Of quarterback for the Denver Broncos.
Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited. Yeah. He's the concept of corny personified into a human being, and Train is that as a band.
Okay, so Russell, Mr. Unlimited Wilson, is equal to...
In levels of corniness.
Train.
In levels of corniness. Yep. I do not care for either because of the corniness. I'm just like, you're not a serious person, and I can't respect you on any level. You know?
Okay.
You know?
Alright.
You are ultimately a person, God's special creation, and ultimately free to pursue a life of religious fulfillment. But I'm not about it. I'm not about it. Anyway, back to Babe. Back to Babe. I had not heard the Sugarland version until this week, and once I did, I realized that Taylor's version was so much superior to it that it's not even funny, really. Much like you said, I did notice that Miss Nettles, Jennifer Nettles, lead singer of Sugarland, she had to really strain to get up into that falsetto for her where Taylor lives. Taylor has a higher voice, and it was evident. Taylor seems much more at ease on her version. And I also noticed that my two favorite parts of the song, the "What about your promises, promises, promises," that bit, and the quote-unquote pop ska breakdown with the horns before the last chorus, those are my two favorite parts of the song. And neither of them are on the Sugarland version. So that song is just boring and just plodding, and yeah, I didn't need it. I didn't need it. I did not need it.
Yeah, well, from the critics' response, they seem to think that the brass is only on there because of Jack Antonoff. So basically, if she had recorded it to go on Red originally, you would not have liked it. But because Jack got his little fingies in it.
Well, we don't know how true that is, but either way, good job, team. Who did what is hard to say.
Yeah.
But I do like those additions for sure. Overall, it's a vibe. I like it. The horns make it feel a little bit bigger, a little more bombastic, which I like. And now that I know that Train is involved...
I got that Shaggy song in my head. Is it Shaggy? I think so.
Okay. Mr. Bombastic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
Mr. Bombastic.
I don't know who sings that, actually. But now that I know that Train is involved, I feel a little bad for liking it as much as I do, but I still do. So, what do you rank it from 1 to 10 for those of you who may be joining us for the first time? We rank every song 1 to 10. 1 is bad, 10 is good, 5 is mid. Kimberly, what do you give Babe, Taylor's version?
I'll give it a 7. I seek it out on occasion. Sometimes I'm like, man, I'm just really in the mood for Babe. And most of the time, it is because it's stuck in my head. And I'm like, I just gotta get it out. I gotta listen to it once, and I get it out. But if my phone's on shuffle, or, I just have Red on shuffle, if Babe comes on, I'm never mad about it.
Okay. Yep. I have also given it a 7, because I think it's very good for what it is. It's solid, catchy, venom-laced air kiss.
Yeah.
To quote Pitchfork. And, yeah, I like it. I'm glad that it came out on Red TV, because I wouldn't have known, but I would regret it if it suddenly ceased to be. So I'm glad it exists.
Right.
And I like to listen to it sometimes when I go through Red TV listens. I don't skip it, because I'm like, oh yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. As soon as she comes in with the... What about the promises? I'm like, oh yeah.
We vibing now. Yep, that's it. So yeah, I give it a 7. Good song. Not a deep song. It's not supposed to be, but it's a solid 7.
Yeah, and I feel good with this one as a 7 because on Red, they're both on the same album. If I'm gonna gravitate towards one to put on of a song that's not supposed to be deep, it's just supposed to be bubblegum poppy dance.
Yep.
Feel the vibe. It's gonna be Babe over 22.
Well, I gave 22 a 7 as well because I think of them very similar.
Very similarly, but I'm going to reach for Babe before I reach for 22.
All right, that is a spicy take. Would you not then? You talked about this. Would you not then take 22 off and put Babe on over it of the Red standard version, if that is the case?
No, because I think there are other vault tracks that I would rather take 22 off and put on. So you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think 22 and Babe both fall off the album. And there are other vault tracks that go in that place.
Wow. Well, we'll have to get into that at some point. We'll have to do like a very special episode where we play that game live.
Yeah, I think that could be fun.
Yeah, we could do that. But for now, I think we'll leave it there because we are running a little bit long this week. But
Which is wild. I thought we were going to be running short.
Yeah, we had a lot of news to talk about. Well, I'm
glad I kept my corner short then.
What is our song for next week going to be?
Right where you left me, the other bonus track from
Evermore. Yep, and that's wild. Got them both out in the first 6 episodes. We will have. So.
Spoiler alert. This one's my favorite.
Yeah. Yep, I'm gonna score this one better than It's Time to Go. So.
But we'll have plenty to talk about.
How high? We'll see. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for listening. Bye.
We out this bitch. Thank you for listening to Cowboys Like Us. Follow us on Twitter at cowboyslike_pod and Instagram at cowboyslikeus_pod. New episodes every Monday on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. Y'all come back now. You hear?